Dear attendees, thank you in advance for attending this presentation. My name is Juan Robles. I am a PhD student in Information and Communication Technologies at the University of Granada, and in the next 15 minutes I will introduce you MultiCalifor Dev, a multimodal evolutionary-based toolbox for the calibration of dev models within DevTools. In this presentation, I will tell you about the origins and the goals we want to achieve with MultiCalifor Dev. Then, I will introduce you to some important concepts about the multimodal evolutionary optimization file, which is the basis of the MultiCalifor Dev calibration engine. I will show you how it is possible to calibrate dev models by using the MultiCalifor Dev toolbox. Here, we will see how to configure the MultiCalifor Dev calibration engine, how to start a calibration process, and what we can do with the toolbox output. Finally, I will conclude my presentation by showing you a comparison between the MultiCalifor Dev calibration results and the DEB2021 ones, and some conclusions we have obtained. Let's start the presentation. What about MultiCalifor Dev? MultiCalifor Dev is a MATLAB-based toolbox which is developed to enhance the DevTools calibration module. Our toolbox is designed to work together with the DEB2021, and therefore it uses all the filters, loss functions, and some other DevTools functionalities. The MultiCalifor Dev calibration framework is based on multimodal evolutionary algorithms, which are powerful and useful optimization methods. Moreover, MultiCalifor Dev offers multiple statistical and visual tools for the validation of the final calibration results. The main objective of MultiCalifor Dev is to enhance the DevTools calibration module. For that purpose, we develop a strong calibration engine based on multimodal evolutionary algorithms, which brings multiple, diverse, and optimal solutions for the species being calibrated. As before mentioned, MultiCalifor Dev completes the calibration process with some additional modules which allow to statistically analyze the calibration results and to visualize some relationships between the calibration parameters from the final calibration results. Here is a table with all the modules that make up the MultiCalifor Dev toolbox. Let's talk about multimodal optimization for Dev. Multimodal optimization is a powerful optimization technique which combines another two both important and effective techniques such as evolutionary algorithms and niche-preserving techniques to find multiple global and local optima of a function. By doing so, it is possible to have a better understanding of the different solutions of a problem, while having the possibility to switch between them and maintain the quality of the final results. The multimodal optimization is widely used in both theoretical and practical problems. Evolutionary computation is inspired by the evolution of the species and follows the Darwinian natural selection as the basis of its functioning. Evolutionary algorithm generally uses a population of solutions, which are parameter combination in the case of the dev models. That solution or individuals compete between them and they survive by applying a random selective process based on the quality of the generated solutions. That solutions are measured according to a fitness function. Then the selected individuals are combined using crossover and or mutation operators. And the new solution replaces some of the previous ones to evolve to a new generation. By doing so, evolutionary algorithms are able to find more than a single solution in a single algorithm run. In the current animation, you have a visual example of how an evolutionary algorithm explores a problem search space by combining the parameters of their individuals. Niche-preserving techniques, for their part, are division mechanisms which aim to maintain diversity in the evolutionary algorithms population. Then, the evolutionary algorithms exploit the different areas of a problem search space, while niche-preserving techniques explore the space itself. In this way, the solutions that a multimodal evolutionary algorithm returns are optimal and different between them. From the long and growing multimodal evolutionary algorithms family, we selected two of the best performing methods as the basis of the MultiCalifor Dev calibration module. That algorithms are shape and its extension, L-shape. Both algorithms are extensions of the differential evolution algorithm, a widely and well-known optimization algorithm. The three techniques have been successfully applied in areas such as economy, energy, maths, and their application is still growing. Here you have an example of how the previous algorithms generate parameter combination, the figure on the left, and how they explore the search space by combining the different members of the populations. Let's explain how to calibrate with MultiCalifor Dev. MultiCalifor Dev is prepared for its integration within the DevTools toolbox. In this way, it is only necessary to download the toolbox. You can do it freely from the GitHub repository. Then decompress the directory and copy it into the DevTools lib folder, and finally load the modules on MATLAB. The toolbox mimics the DevTools calibration process, so once the modules are loaded, it is possible to launch a calibration process by selecting the species to calibrate, load the species data and the DevTools filters and logs functions methods, configure some calibration options, and launch the process. There are 6 different options for calibration, as you can see in the current slide, but the most important ones can be these related with the generation of the first parameter combinations, the stopping criterion, which allows you to stop by a number of callings to the logs function or when a time threshold is reached, and especially the number of solutions to return and the maximum and minimum values for some calibration parameters. The option name ranges, which controls the limits of the calibration parameters and which the user can define freely. There exists other options to show information about the calibration process and to generate reports from the calibration results. As you can see, the toolbox is highly customizable. Here you have an example of a simple calibration file with MultiCalifor Dev and the schema of the results that the toolbox returns. The final result contains all the parameter combinations and the information about each final solution. And what we can do after the calibration process. From the calibration results, it's possible to extend the experimentation by using the statistical and the visualization modules. The first one allows you to measure the quality of the results, and on the other hand, the visualization module brings you the possibility to explore the relationship between the calibration parameters in an easily and visual way. This module offers some charts such as scatter plots, heat maps, or prediction plots with estimation values from the whole result set. Here you have some example of visualization with scatter plots and heat maps. These kinds of charts can be useful to better understand how the parameters are related between them, and what areas of the search space they cover. And here you can see an example of a prediction plot for a dummy 10 minutes calibration containing 300 solutions. Let's finish with a comparison between MultiCalifor Dev and DevTools and the final conclusions. We share with you some calibration results we have reached for different species of different types and parameter sizes. As you can observe in the current table, MultiCalifor Dev is able to successfully calibrate species with different complexities. The toolbox is able to reduce the loss function value of the tested species and also the error measures between a 1 and a 5%. And the most important one, the toolbox does not return a single solution, but a set of optimal and diverse solutions for each species. The main conclusion we have achieved with MultiCalifor Dev are the capacity of the toolbox for bringing a complete calibration framework based on multimodal evolutionary algorithms from which to obtain diverse and optimal calibration solutions. The capacity for working with the result after the calibration process and to perform sensitivity and visual analysis over them, and the enhancement with respect to the DevTools calibration module, which can help the community to better calibrate their species and consequently to better understand their parameters. I have finished my presentation and it's time for questions. Do you have any question or comment? Thank you for your attention.